I guess I'm meant to make a couple of comments. I will make one about staff. The other day I attended the Communications and Marketing Committee meeting, and I heard some interesting proposals as a result of the work that they've done. My only concern is, how do you effectuate that work? And I think it might require additional staff, as good as our staff is. I think they're kind of stretched out. If I send a message to TC Lane, maybe at midnight, I can get an answer back in a text message at 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, the staff, as Russell said, is excellent, but I think if we're going to attack different ways to help our business, that we may need more staff to see what goes on in harness racing fan zone. Takes an awful lot of work. And if this additional work is going to be undertaken, which I believe it should, because what I got from it was more data made available to more people in the sport from that committee, whether it's racing information or what it is. But that's a lot of work to input that kind of information. But it's extremely important. If you look at the success in Asia, in their racing community, it's all about data and information. And I look forward to the day when, just the way I look and try to see a new New York Mets prospect and look up his history and data, anybody who's interested in racing should be able to do the same thing without a cost, in my opinion. If you want to attract more people, you got to make that data available to them, and it should be made available to them for free. I know we're not Major League Baseball, we don't have that kind of money, but that should be something we should be doing. That data drives handle. The more information we can give to people about our sport, about the participants, the drivers, the trainers, just race information. At Yonkers, we produce what's called an Empire Report, which is a detailed analysis of each of the horses in each of the races, so that people can make a more informed decision. I remember years ago, the thing that drove us to go to the racetrack at Roosevelt Raceway and Yonkers Raceway was somebody would say, "Oh, you were in the barn area today, Joe?" Yeah, and Buddy Gilmore said he liked this horse in the 4th race. Well, everybody pile up in the car, we all go out to the racetrack because we thought we had some inside information. That information should be, to whatever degree we can create it, should be made available to everybody in our sport or who's interested in our sport. And I welcome the work of this committee. I don't know if it should be melded with Harness Racing Fan Zone, or Harness Racing Fan Zone should become harnessracing.com. I don't know. I don't care. But it should be done. It has to be done. And if we need to allocate money to increase staff so that's successfully done, that should be a mission of this organization, in my opinion. I'm also a bit concerned, I hate to say this, but I have to say, and this is probably for anybody who's watching this or will see this presentation, we were asked to do something for integrity. There was established this Standardbred Racing Integrity Fund. Jablansky, Dr. Jablansky, put up $250,000 large to fund it and asked for matching contributions. Now, I've recently been criticized at Yonkers Raceway for Yonkers Raceway having not the most honest racing in the country, yet the Standardbred Owners Association of New York and the PHHA, Pennsylvania Harness Horsemen's Association, were the only two entities that I know of that funded SRIF. That's disgraceful. If the people in our business want to see things change, they're going to have to, unfortunately, whether they like it or not, put their money where their mouth is. All I see is criticism of the USTA, but I don't see any support from any other entities that claim that they want to see this integrity project succeed. And one of the criteria we were told must be in this, it must be independent. independent from influence like people like myself or other people, and it has to be independent. Now, we can't tell you who's being investigated, what they're being investigated for. All I can tell you is what we were mandated to know, and that is that these investigations are going forward, they're professional, they're farmed out to state and federal agencies, and that's all we are supposed to know. But the people who demanded that independence have not come up with 5 cents to fund this. Another worthwhile effort, Standard Bread Transition Alliance. Okay, we all know that that's important. We gave it seed money back a few years ago. Now, you would hope that that would be able to grow on its own and become self-sufficient. Why is the USTA asked to continue to fund it? Because the people in our sport have not reached into their pockets to do what they need to do. And I'm saying this for everybody who's a member of the USTA and those who claim to be so concerned about racing and the welfare of our horses that they should basically pony up. Because the USTA, as I like to say at the SOA meetings, is not the Catholic Church. We are not a charity institution. People in our sport have to take responsibility for supporting the important things in our game, and I don't see it, and I find it very disturbing. The SOA of New York, and I'm sure the PHHA, I think they made a new contribution just the other day to keep SRIF going. It's important. If people want to talk about integrity, this is the kind of thing that has to happen, and it can't happen from just two horsemen's associations. It just doesn't work that way. I kind of have to apologize for saying these things, but I think they need to be said. We just can't turn our back to these things and think that everything's going to happen when we have a meeting like this and we walk out the door and things are going to get better. They're not going to get better unless people want to make them better. And I'm hoping that that happens at some point in time. Thank you for listening. I will move on from this point